The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and I had just said I'm going to play the audio from J.J. McCarthy, LaGrange Park's finest, after the Michigan win last night. I've been a Michigan fan for my whole life. And then Case, the producer, and Kenzie both tell me, no, just 10 seconds ago, don't play that audio. There's somebody on the phone, and I have to take it.
So yesterday you watched the Michigan game last night, but before that, on the show yesterday, we talked about how the Smashing Pumpkins are looking for a new guitarist, and you posted a video of yourself playing Cherub Rock on Q101's Facebook yesterday, right?
Yes, I did.
All right. So everybody knows that if you want to talk to us on Q101, 312-591-8300, that's the way to get in touch with us. There's a special VIP line that not many people have access to. Not many people know that number. And Brian, there is somebody on the VIP line right now that wants to talk to you about what you did yesterday.
Okay. This usually doesn't happen. Usually I know what's going on. I don't, so I'm picking up the phone.
Answer the phone. Don't be so dramatic.
All right. Hello, who is this?
Good morning, it's Billy.
Oh, my God! Yes! This is amazing. Billy Corgan.
Now, you have a pretty good day job, so I figure we could do a live, how bad do you want it? Almost like a job interview, but less formal,
Oh, my gosh. Well, okay, I'm ready for it. Go ahead, Billy. To be your guitar player.
Are you willing to quit your day job to be a member of the Smashing Pumpkins?
It's fine, answer, honestly.
Yes!
Really?
Of course. Listen.
Things aren't working out great for Brian here.
Honestly, him and I hate each other.
No. Listen, this is the best place in the world, Q101, and the history with the Pumpkins and you, Billy, has been amazing. But my dream, the only regret I have in my life, I don't have I can't think of one other one, is that I didn't just play guitar in a band and try to write songs and see if I could do it. And I figured I was going to fail, but I wish I just would have tried. And I never did that. I played in cover bands and things like that. I just never went for it like you did. So that's my biggest regret.
Well, I appreciate that. When you say that, it really does trigger a lot of memories, because when I was 18 and I decided not to go to college, my family thought I was completely insane, told me I would never make it, told me I was wasting my time, told me I couldn't sing. It was very difficult for us in the early years in Chicago trying to find our footing, not only as a band, but also find an audience that even understood what we were doing. So I get it. I mean, I had every headwind against me, and I wouldn't let it go. And, in my case, it kind of worked out, but I get that feeling, I remember being broke and having everybody question my sanity. So I think it worked out for you, but I definitely appreciate what you're saying.
So, Billy, did you see Brian's audition video?
I did, and truth be told, after I saw that, I reached out to you privately last night, and I said I'd like to come on and talk to Brian this morning.
Oh, my God. This is my best day.
Are you going to tell him that you don't think he's talented, though? Or what was... I never found out if you liked it or not.
Oh, crap. This might be the worst day ever.
Well, okay, let's pretend Brian wasn't Brian and had a good gig. Let's say Brian was just a musician post in the video. Mm-hmm. I think the first thing I would question is exactly the point that he made, which is why didn't he make that commitment when he was a young person to music? Through the years, we have found people who have, they're very much in Brian's situation where they regret that they didn't do something, and they certainly have ability, but you end up as a musician on the other side of the equation questioning, well, if I made that decision, you know what I mean? And I put my life completely into the fate's hands as far as trying to be a musician. Why didn't that other person? And we found through the years that people who are not 147% committed to music, eventually that lack of commitment, and I mean that nicely, sort of shows up.
Sure.
Because it's sort of, they have their own doubt about it, but it's like, imagine being a guy taking three-pointers. It's like you cannot have any doubt in the back of your mind. You have to believe you're going to make the shot every time you take that shot, and that's what part of what being a musician is about. And I think that's why you see so many musicians are kind of crazy, because you almost have to be crazy to do it, because if you look at it on a piece of paper, there's every reason to say, this does not work. I can't be successful at this. How could I possibly compete against all these great artists? And so we've had a lot. I think we've had at this point over 6,000 email submissions.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
And certainly a lot of the submissions are from people with pretty good resumes. But you tend to look for people who are all in on that equation.
And that's the thing. I remember being insecure and not having much confidence. And I remember even my dad saying to me when I was like 16 playing guitar on the couch, he goes, maybe you'll make music of a career. And I remember saying this vividly, saying, I'm not good enough. And my dad was very supportive, not a music guy. He was, a tough, hard-nosed dad that was an athlete and all those kind of things. But he actually made that offer saying, maybe you want to do this. And I was too insecure myself to go all in like you're talking about.
Well, that's very sweet. And my father was a musician. He was a professional musician in Chicago. And when I was 16, sitting on the couch playing the guitar, he told me, don't waste your time. You're not going to make it. Go do something else. So we have completely different experiences in that regard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do regret it. And other point on you're talking about is I go to guitar stores and I'd see some incredible musician in there.
Oh, it's unbelievable, right?
And I would say, why isn't this guy making it? How can I make it if he's not making it? When I first got successful in the 90s, I had a lot of people come up and say, I don't know, I don't want to say anybody's names, but there were musicians in Chicago that I felt personally were more talented than I was. And people would come up and say, in a negative way to me, if you're so great, how come so-and-so, guy X or girl Y in a band, how come they're not making it? And I didn't have an answer to that question because I would sit there and say, yeah, I agree with you. Like, wow, so-and-so is so talented. How is that possible that I got here and they didn't? And I will say through the years that ultimately the thing that separates people at the upper levels is in talent, because almost anybody who's successful has talent. It's got something to do with sort of, let's call it a mental frame of reference, a willingness to kind of take the hit and keep going, a willingness to accept failure and keep going, even though everybody tells you. I mean, if you look at a lot of things the Pumpkins did in the 90s, when we would launch a new album and everyone would say, why are you doing this? And they end up being classic songs or something. We had to have that faith in ourselves that we could shut out the noise outside of us and sort of ignore what people were saying about us or their opinions and somehow have a different faith in ourselves. But there's nothing logical about that faith. It almost has to come from within. Wow. Okay, so my guitar video's there against 6,000 people.
I think we're just gonna go out on a limb and say it's not going to happen.
Oh.
And here's the thing. Let me just be somewhat personal. Kenzie's just about to have a baby, and the fact that you're willing to run out the door right now at this critical moment in her life, I think says a lot. I mean, just to me personally, I think that's a big black mark against you right here.
Yeah, about his character. I was thinking the same thing, Billy.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Poor character. He can't have that in his band.
However,
I mean, she is ready to go. I mean, I've been watching the pictures on social. I climbed the mountain with the baby. I'm going to the moon with the baby.
however, she will have to go deliver the baby. And
Yes.
while she's gone, I could play a few gigs with the Pumpkins at least.
Let's put it this way. A few musicians have said to me through the years, hey, I enjoy playing with you. I appreciate what you do, but working for you is a different matter.
Oh.
It's an intense. Put it this way, it's an intense atmosphere in the Pumpkins, and I mean that in a good way. We take what we do very seriously. So, not a lot of room for weekend warriors. Let's put it that way.
Oh, no, I'm a weekend warrior, he just said.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to lift your spirits right now, Brian. You did better in that video than I thought you could, if that makes you feel any better. I didn't know you said that you play guitar, and I'm like, okay. And then I was like, oh, look at him. Look at his little fingers go. You did a good job. Very nice.
Okay. Now, when you had songs and somebody said that to you, how did you feel? Hey, that was better than I thought it was going to be.
I've heard it all through the years, Brian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's Billy Corgan.
He's Billy. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Billy Corgan. Well, I really appreciate you calling up. That's amazing. You did that. Thank you for watching the video.
Yeah, no problem.
And
hey, listen, I think it's cool what you did, and that's why I wanted to reach out. I mean, that's at the end of the day why I wanted to call. I appreciate you even mentioning what we're up to because, it's every time we turn a page in this crazy band's history, we feel like we're taking a leap off a cliff, and so going out into the world and saying, hey, we're really open, and we really are. We're really open to having somebody new kind of come in and be part of what we do. And so we just appreciate you sort of even noticing.
Oh, it's one of the coolest things I ever seen, giving a chance to someone like me that's hopefully younger and more dedicated to be in there and get in the band.
But just to clarify, not you.
But not me.
I would like you, but let's just clarify.
Right now, I'd say the baby Kenzie's carrying has a better chance, but that's just I can't speak for the whole band.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, of course, Pumpkins Green Day coming up next summer. Can't wait for that show. It's going to be ridiculous.
My baby's going to be on stage playing the guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Billy.
Okay, have a great day, everybody.
Love you, man. Thank you so much.
Billy.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.